All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from the paperclip at Martinsville. Richie Joplin and Jeff Oakes will have the front row. Michael Whiting, Vic Brown on the second. Gerald Poole and Gil Guac on the third row. Mark Dantuma, Warren Moore on the fourth. Derek Schilling and Jess Chambers round out the top 10. Kevin Bruner starts in 11th next to Ryan Warp in 12th. Warren Moore in 13th. John Shermont's in 14th. Clinton Chambers, Kevin Hayes 15th and 16th. Robert Eggert and Tim St. Jean 17th and 18th. Mike Burgess and Jack Wilson round out the 20-car field here at Martinsville. Well, Kenny, I hope your new league's going well, bud. Looks like the sun has gone behind the stands, so the drivers won't get blinded, at least by the sun. You never know what else is going to happen here at Martinsville. Remember, Jeff Oakes starting there on the outside. Jeff Oakes has been so close to a championship multiple times here in Home Motorsports. Last season losing by 1 point. You know he's going to get aggressive as the season winds down. Down the back straightaway, the pace car will pull into turn 3. Hey, good evening, JR. And here they come through 3 and 4. And the green flag flies. They are underway in Martinsville. Richie Joplin clears as Michael Whiting already looks for second, but Jeff Oakes fights back up top. And this is one of those tracks, if there's a problem early on, the track can fill up quickly. Richie does lead the first lap. Richie finally clears into the lead. Jeff Oakes, a caution is out. Gil Guac involved. Our first caution of the night. And let's see what happened to Gil. There's Gil Guac on the outside. Comes out of turn 2, snaps loose. Ouch, and a couple of cars just stack up. Minimal damage, they will keep going. I bet, JR. I hate to hear it. Hopefully it gets better quickly, bud. Folks, don't forget, right after the race, we will have the Unicorn Trucking, and we're trying something new tonight. So we are going to try and transition the stream straight over to her with no break in the middle for the first time. Kevin Bruner and Gil Guac, the only two drivers that came in. It looked like Bruner was the car that ran into Gil's side when he got loose. Should be getting the 1 to green this time by. Thank you, Kumar. On the green flag, I'm going to shut up and let you guys crank it up. We're getting loud early tonight. The pace car is in. And the green flag flies. Crank it up, y'all. That is a beautiful sound. 20 high horsepower cars, full send around Martinsville. Richie Joplin has set the fastest lap of the night so far. Jeff Oakes still in second. Michael Whiting in third. Gerald Poole has moved up into fourth, but he slides up the track and Vic on the attack. Don't forget, folks, all these cars powered by Navy Joe Coffee. Go get you some Navy Joe at NavyJoe.coffee. The best coffee there is Gerald slipping back. Derek Schilling picks up a spot. Mark D'Antuma has moved up into fifth. Derek in sixth. Jess Chambers in seventh. Mike Burgess started at the tail of the field, is now, and the caution is out. Don Warren involved. Looks like Clinton Chambers also got a piece. Wow, Clinton is smoking. Remember, they do not have fast repairs. Alright, let's see what happened with Don. He's looking underneath Gerald. Oh, just stomps the brakes too hard and spins the back end. Clinton just gets in there and has nowhere to go. Riding along with Clinton Chambers, so you can see just how little warning he has. He doesn't see anything. Now there's smoke, but nothing he could do by the time he saw it. Don Warren did end up towing it back to pit road. Clinton Chambers has limped it in. Tim St. Jean also in, as well as Kevin Hayes, Gil Guac, Robert Eggert also coming in. Drivers are looking at 55 to 60 laps on fuel. However, cautions will extend that. I have seen races here with enough cautions that some drivers never went to pit road. Richie Joplin still up front. Mike Burgess now up 7 spots into 12th. Tim St. Jean up 4 spots into 14th. Don Warren officially out of the race. Clinton Chambers still sits on pit road. All right, the pace car dives in. Richie in control of the restart. Here Here they come, out of turn 4, into the zone. The green flag flies again, and Richie launches it. The top two quickly single file. L almost 3 wide coming out of turn 2. Gerald Poole managing to pull ahead for the moment. John Shermont's Warren Moore battling back behind as Mike Burgess tries to get by Kevin Bruner. Gil Guac also on the move. Burgess losing some ground here. A lot of times you get stuck in that outside line here, man, you can lose ground quickly. Vic Brown now stuck on the outside of Derek Schilling. And Vic is going to slide back. Oh no, he fights back. He finally gets clear, gets down to the bottom. Will he be able to get under Derek? Richie Joplin continues to lead. He's led every lap so far, but you know Jeff Oakes wants to get up front, lead some laps, pick up some bonus points here tonight. And the caution is back out for Gil Guac. And Gil is taking it to pit road. There's Gil on the inside, runs right up to Warren's bumper, has to stomp the brake to knock it into Warren. It sends him around to the inside wall. See if we can get a little different angle on that. Here you see us to stomp the brake. He had the better run. And then a hard hit to the inside wall. Kevin Bruner and Kevin Hayes have both come to pit road. As I said, Bruner was involved in that early incident with Gil. Looks like he has been trying to get that car fixed and topping off on fuel. Hey, good evening to Angie Louise cheering on Derek Schilling, who's already up 4 spots into 5th. Ryan Warp also up 4 spots into 8th. John Shermont's up 4 spots into 10th. Tim St. Jean up 6 spots into 12th. Mike Burgess up 6 spots into 13th. Early cautions have helped a few and hurt several. Alright, pace car dives in. Richie in control once again. Here they come out of turn 4. And the green flag flies again, and Richie nails the restart again. Michael Whiting is already under Jeff Oakes for 2nd. And the caution is already back out. Ryan Warp involved. Let's see what happened to Ryan on the restart. Ryan on the high side in the 23 car. Oh, just loses the back end. Backs it into the wall, but he does recover and get going again. Some of these guys have had a bumpy start. Kevin Brenner did come in again on his way back out. Ryan Warp is coming in. I don't think Ryan took too much damage. Just a little bit of damage to the back bumper, but nothing significant. Hey, good evening, Panda. How are you, buddy? Richie Joplin still has the lead. Jeff Oakes managed to hold on to second as the caution flew. Michael Whiting now back to third, and I'm betting Jeff is going to be watching closely on this restart. All right, pace car dives back in. Here they come through 3 and 4. Richie in control. And the green flag flies again. Richie manages to clear traffic, and Jeff able to drop to the bottom and protect that second place. Mark D'Antuma trying to make a move for third up top on Michael Whiting. Whiting's going to hold him off, and Derek is going to try and slip underneath. It looked like Gerald Poole may have had a little problem coming out of turn 2. He holds on to it. Gerald has slipped back to 8th after a top 5 qualifying effort. And Shermott is looking right under. Control, Gerald's around, he backs it into the wall, and the caution is back out. Let's take another look at Gerald's incident. Down the back straightaway toward turn 3, just sends it in. A little too deep, gets on the brakes a little too hard. The back end slides out and he kisses the wall. John Shermott is coming in. Kevin Hayes, Gerald Poole, and Mike Burgess also in. Robert Eggert also on pit road. Now with these cautions, it does extend the fuel window. The drivers were looking at 55 to 60 laps on a tank of fuel tonight. But at this point, they likely can extend to lap 70, if not more. Some of these drivers up in the top 5 are definitely thinking about it. Some of these guys back behind are coming in and picking up 4 fresh Goodyears. You're at the back of the pack, you might as well, and those tires could make a huge difference. Lights are back out. The drivers stack back up. Track temperature and air temperature still holding about where they were during practice, qualifying, and warm-up. Looking down from the spotter stand as we go green right about now. Green flag back in the air. Derek Schilling on the march. He's stuck up on the high side, battling for 3rd place. Derek sends it deep into 3, but Michael Whiting, and the caution is out once again for Jack Wilson. And it looks like Gerald Poole and John Shermont's caught up. Let's take a look at this incident. Coming down the back straightaway, there's Jack Wilson. Oh, Shermont's trying to get underneath. Braked a little too late. Jack gets turned around. And let's see if we can get a look from the chopper at John Shermont's on this deal. And Shermont's almost had the nose in. Then he gets bumped from behind, goes around as well. Several drivers did come in this time, including Derek Schilling, Mark Dantuma, Jess Chambers, and Mike Burgess. It sent them to the back, but they know they can go the distance on fuel from here. Only the top 5 cars on track have not been to pit road yet. Richie Joplin, Jeff Oakes, Michael Whiting, Vic Brown, and Warren Moore. Kevin Bruner has been in multiple times but timed it right. He is now up into 6th. Tim St. Jean up 11 spots into 7th. Some of these guys have played that strategy perfectly. Got their fuel early, and now they're in the catbird seat. All right, here we go. Out of turn 4, Richie Joplin in control. The green flag flies again. Oh, Jeff Oakes gets a tap. The caution is back out. And one of the championship contenders in trouble. If he came down, or wow, he just barely Wilson out of the wall. Looking down from the chopper. Looks like Jeff Oakes turns in a little bit. Right as they settle into the corner, just a little tap. Fortunately, the championship contender still in the fight. Jeff Oakes has brought it to pit road, as has Michael Whiting, Gerald Poole, and Ryan Warr. Richie still has the lead. Vic Brown in second. Warren Moore now up into third. Kevin Bruner in fourth. And look at this. Tim St. Jean now into the top five. And Jack Wilson has had a great recovery from his earlier incident. He is now 12 spots into 8th. All right, lights are back out on the pace car. So it'll be Richie Joplin and Vic Brown with the front row this time. Warren Moore and Kevin Bruner just behind. And a lot of cars on fresh tires from 9th place Derek Schilling on back. This is about to get interesting. Pace car is in. Here we go again. Out of turn 4, the green flag flies again. Richie once again stomps the gas, leads them into 1 and 2. Side by side down the back straightaway. Michael Whiting now slips back to 13th after his pit stop. We've got a problem. The caution is out. And it's a big pile up in turn 4. Tim St. Jean involved, Kevin Hayes, Derek Schilling, John Shermont, Jack Wilson, Jeff Oakes, Gerald Poole, and Mike Burgess. Wow. Let's take a look at this. All right, looking at Tim St. Jean in the 81. Oh, looks like he may have checked up a little. Wow. All right, let's take a look at this from the chopper. Oh, Tim had to check up to stay out of Warren's bumper. Everybody just piles in, nowhere to go. Now watch this. We're going to slow it down just a hair. Watch the 57 of Mark Dantuma. They're on the high side as they go off into the turn. Everything will start popping off up ahead, right in the middle of the turn. There's the bump from Warren Moore. Or I'm sorry, there's Tim St. Jean going around. A checkup on the high side, and Mark able to get through. Derek Schilling drifts up the track, and they just opened the hole for Dantuma. That is one of the luckiest moments you'll ever see in racing. Lights are back out. The field is shook up. Vic Brown, Kevin Bruner now in the front row. Jack Wilson, Mark Dantuma on the second. here we go again as the pace car dives to pit road. Out of turn 4 they come, and the green flag flies again. Shermont pulls over on the restart. Everybody makes it out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Whoa, look at this move. Down to the inside. Yes, Chambers on the attack. Just trying to dive it up underneath. Jack Wilson wasn't able to get there. Meanwhile, the top 4, including points contender Jeff Oates and points leader Mark Dantuma, now 3rd and 4th. Vic Brown out front for the first time here tonight. Vic Brown also a championship contender. In fact, the top 3 in points are in the top 4 on track. And if Vic Brown pulls off the win here tonight, well, as of right now, the points will tighten up. Vic came into the night 3 points behind Dantuma. Mark has not led a lap yet, nor has Jeff Oates. This is definitely going to be an interesting final 2 races of the season. After tonight, the point standings are so insanely close. Mike Burgess on the move as well, up 11 spots into 7th. Jack Wilson has slipped all the way back to 13. I think Jack may have gotten stuck up on the outside and just slipped back. See if we can see what happened with Jack off the restart. Jack down there on the bottom has a bobble out of turn 2. We saw this move. Jack did have that incident earlier, didn't think he really damaged the car. Michael Whiting's going to clear up top. Oh, he came up, got into Ryan Ward. Ends up going too deep through 3 and 4 and lost a lot of ground. Vic Brown still out front for the moment. He is pulling a bit of a gap on Kevin Bruner. Kevin has not been on the podium in a while this season. Currently running in 2nd. And Jeff Oates now in 3rd has gotten past Dantuma. Jeff doing exactly what he needs to do here tonight. And you gotta kind of root for the guy. He's been so close to a championship in home motorsports so many times. He got beat by Mark Nelson a couple of times last year, once by just a few points. Last season got beat by Mark Dantuma by 1 point. Safe to say, Jeff is not a fan of people named Mark, but Mike Burgess has brought the caution out. And it looks like Warren Moore may have gotten caught up as well. All right, there's Mike Burgess. Warren Moore right behind him. Oh, Mike just a little too deep off into the turn. Then coming out of that turn, Warren Moore just gets on it a little hot. Man, it looks like trying to get through the gears and the car just goes around. Vic Brown is on pit road, Warren Moore, and Jack Wilson also in. Giving the lead to Kevin Bruner. Bruner did pit several times earlier on. Last pit stop for him, lap 27. With these cautions, he should be good to go on fuel. Jeff Oakes now in second, Mark Dantuma in third, Michael Whiting in fourth, Jess Chambers now up into fifth. And we have seen this entire top five shaken up multiple times here tonight. Folks, don't forget, after the race, stick around. We're going to send you directly to the Unicorn as they are trucking in Europe tonight. And we're going to try and do it without ever stopping, so you guys won't miss a thing. Just stay in your comfy chairs, keep watching, and you'll get to see some hilarity in Europe. Gerald Poole made it back on track, just barely staying on the front row as the pace car dives in. Gerald stays on the lead lap, still 11 cars on the lead lap, and here we go. The green flag flies again, Bruner is away. Whoa, Jeff Oakes really outbrakes him into turn one. Kevin had the advantage, though, on the bottom through 1 and 2. How deep can Oakes send it? Not enough. Mark Dantuma still holds on to third. Meanwhile, a battle. Wow! Jack Wilson, the first car, 1 lap down, and he really locked him up. Derek Schilling officially out of the race, as is Kevin Hayes, Robert Eggert, Gil Guak, Clinton Chambers, and Don Warren. Martinsville is always a battle of attrition. Here we go. Jeff Oakes has a run for the lead. Man, he was able to drive it down in there deep. Underneath Kevin Bruner, Kevin trying to fight back. Jeff does have the fresher tires, though, by about 20 laps. Mark Dantuma tries to capitalize. He gets underneath Kevin Bruner as well. Michael Whiting trying to get back up into this fight as well. Whoa! Whiting and Ritchie get together into turn one. The caution is back out. And Kevin Bruner also had a problem. Let's take another look at these incidents. Michael Whiting right behind, comes down to Ritchie, just barely at the nose end. And just ahead of them. Mark D'Antuma and Kevin Bruner are battling. Oh, Bruner just gets a little too deep, and the back end steps out. Kevin Bruner, Ryan Warp, Gerald Poole, Michael Whiting, all on pit road. Jeff Oakes, Mark D'Antuma, Richie Jumplin, Jess Chambers, and Vic Brown, the new top 5. Jeff Oakes already has 3 wins on the season. He has picked up some points for leading a lap here tonight. He is doing everything right so far. But can he keep that 57 Chevy behind him? Lights go out on the pace car. Still 11 cars on the lead lap. Jeff Oakes in control of the restart. Mark D'Antuma trying to keep his nose dead even and have a shot at Jeff on the restart. And here we go, out of 4, the green flag flies again. 21 laps to go. Jeff Oakes clears quickly, and Richie Joplin goes for second. There's a mess in turn 1. Mike Burgess, Warren Moore, Gerald Poole, Jack Wilson, and Warren Moore all caught up. Alright, Mike Burgess there on the high side. Just gets loose on exit. Ouch. Jack Wilson, Warren Moore just piling in. Couple of drivers barely skate by. Looked like Kevin Bruner managed to sneak by. Gerald Poole able to get, oh, he got squashed. Mike Burgess is on pit road with significant damage. Jack Wilson is having to serve a black flag. Warren Moore also significant damage. Lights are out. Everybody stacks up once again. once again, that outside line does not get going. Dan Tuma able to slip by underneath Richie. Vic Brown now back up in the fight as well. And Wilson just... Oh, that is not Jack Wilson. Sorry, that was Jess Chambers also getting into the fight. 15 laps to go. Jeff Oaks has the lead. Can he hold off Richie and Mark? And he is in for one heck of a fight here. All three drivers last got tires within about 10 laps of each other. Richie Tomlin definitely has the freshest, but only by about 5 laps. Points leader Vic Brown sitting back and forth right behind Dan Tuma, as Jess Chambers has a run on Ryan Warb. Ryan trying to hold him off up top. More and more has come back out. Warren likely going to be able to pick up several spots. And Richie Joplin has taken the lead. 10 laps to go. Take a look at, oh wow. Jeff was trying to block. Richie just kept pushing and managed to get through. Vic Brown is now taking second. Jeff slips back into third. Jeff definitely did not want to give up that lead. Richie is pulled out to a 9-10. Oh, Richie is sideways. Vic gets by. Caution. John Shermont gets into him. Wow. Well, that got interesting. Take a look at this from another angle. As we were talking about, Richie was starting to pull away, just went too deep. Several cars get by. As he backs up, John Shermont's nowhere to go. Now our points leader, Vic Brown, is out front. Jeff Oaks currently in second, Mark Dantuma in third. The top three in points are the top three on track. And this is going to tighten things up because Dantuma came in tonight with the points lead. Vic Brown was in second, Jeff Oaks in third. And remember, they were all three separated by 4 points coming into the night. Folks, don't forget, right after the race, we're sending you to Europe to watch the Unicorn go trucking. The rest of the crew is with her, and hey, she has hard enough time driving on the correct side of the road. Imagine what it's going to be like with her trucking on the wrong side. All right, take a deep breath, folks. There's going to be 3 to go when the green flag drops. Jess Chambers has now made his way to 4th, and this is going to get wild. Pace car dives in quickly. He wants no part of it. Here they come, out of turn 4, Vic in control. The green flag flies again, they are away. Jeff trying everything he can to get a run here. Out of turn 2, down the back straightaway, Vic pulls a bit of a gap. Vic does have the freshest tires in the top 5, other than Ryan Ward. Ryan currently battling with Kevin Bruner for 5th, while Vic opens up a gap. We've got a car banging around on the out of turn 2, no caution yet. And here we go, the white flag flies one more time around. And there's a problem, Richie Joplin's in the way. Wow, that got spicy on the backstretch. Jeff may have a run out of turn 4. He can't do it. Vic Brown wins at Martinsville. Jeff Oakes holds on for 2nd. Mark Dantuma comes home in 3rd. We'll talk to our top 3 in just a moment. Let's see what happened with Richie Joplin. Richie 3 wide gets a bump from Shermont, goes straight up into the wall. Oh, and he slams Gerald into the wall. Tim St. Jean, nothing he could do. Warren Moore barely misses it. And Richie tries to get the car moving, but here come the leaders, and wow, what a close call. All right, let's see if we can get a word with our top 3, starting with Mark Dantuma. Mark, I guess the important question to ask tonight is, do you need to go change your shorts after that last lap?
It was Martinsville, so I figured it was going to be crazy, so I wore Depends just to cover all the bases.
Probably a good plan, man. You definitely had a wild night. Obviously, pit strategy was a little bit wonky, but it worked out for you.
Yeah, I took my pit stop early and changed tires, and then ran it out. It seemed like track position was just so much more important.
It definitely was. You managed to hold on, survive. I do want to ask, how many incident points did you end up with? You didn't get caught up in much.
I had 4 incident points. I got into the back of Derek when they had a little crash, and I just kind of bumped the back of him, and it gave me 4.
Well, man, a great job and a great run and great wreck avoidance there at the end. Congratulations.
Thank you, Doug.
Mark Dantuma comes home in 3rd. It doesn't look like Jeff is available. So let's talk to our winner, Vic Brown. Vic, I don't know what to say about your last lap, other than great job, great wreck avoidance.
You know, Richie was trying to do everything he could there to stay put, and I commend him for that. But I chose the wrong line. I didn't know which way he was going.
You almost lost it going into 3. Jeff had one heck of a big run. You had to be paying close attention to that. You, Jeff, and Mark coming home 1, 2, 3, and all 3 of you separated by 4 points.
Yeah, he cut me some slack there, and I just was going to hold it down and hope for the best. But yeah, that was fun. I up until I got into Richie there a little bit, I somehow managed to not touch anything. And then it got pretty crazy there at the end.
Well, man, that was a heck of a job, a heck of a great run. And just looking at the points, I mean, it could very well be you and Mark are tied after tonight. It's going to be very, very close with 2 races left to go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. These dudes are tough here, and they make you earn it. Everything fell my way tonight, and before I came up here, my son said, "Daddy, I want you to win." He hadn't been feeling good today. It's my 5-year-old, so this one's for him. This is for Truett.
Well, hopefully Truett gets to feeling better, and man, great job. You definitely earned it tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it.
Wow, what a finish. Now, folks, don't go anywhere. The Unicorn is already in Europe, already trucking. So hold on just a moment. She's going to take over. Stick around, folks. Have some laughs.